let me tell you about a lot of friends and a growing army of you-did-its. And as I mention who the you-did-its are, feel free to make your way up to the stage behind me. And then we're going to hear from a few you-did-its. So what are you-did-its? You've seen it on the campaign shirts, on the buttons, and on the screens. Brian's campaign slogan is, "Together we can do more." And it's a great slogan. I'm going to leave it to Brian to explain the intrinsities of what all that means to him personally. I think it's important that he share that with us. But I think it says a lot about Brian as well. Mostly because it doesn't just focus on him, it focuses on all of you. And I can tell you as a close friend and colleague, it's just one of the many ways Brian operates. He understands so much of the great progress this city has made, and he knows that with a lot of hard work from Hamiltonians, this progress has been accomplished. And he knows that you did it. And so, again, for those who are the you did it, come on up here now behind me. I'm going to let you speak in just a few moments. Tonight we've seen the stories of a number of individuals who have made Hamilton a better place, featured on the screens on either side of me. There's going to be dozens and dozens more stories appearing on the campaign website in the coming months that will celebrate the differences and the individual differences that these individuals have made throughout our city. And tonight, we're fortunate to have a few of these people now behind me, the you-did-its. They are featured on these you-did-it posters here, and to share how Brian has helped them make this city a better place, let me now invite the you-did-it people to speak to you now and introduce themselves. The you-did-its, folks.
By the way, there are more you-did-its than are on this stage at the moment. They are on the website. There's a growing gallery of you-did-its. And these are the people who were available tonight to come and speak. For those of you who know others who will be supporting Brian, you're likely to find them on the website. So, as you've heard, Brian, the first part of Brian's campaign slogan is, "You did it." Brian, I was there at the time he said this, wants to celebrate the hard work that lots of Hamiltonians are doing to make Hamilton as great as it is, doing so much hard work to make Hamilton move forward in a progressive way, and we are just a few of those people. We hope to have literally hundreds of people whose stories will be shared throughout the city. So let me begin and say, I have spoken in public before, but I must confess I've never spoken at a political event like this one before. So this is new for me. My name is Crawford. I am the owner and founder of Hamilton History and Heritage on James Street North. It's a little experiment in storefront museuming, a non-word. For those who hate non-words, you probably already have said. But it just celebrated its 6th anniversary, which I'm very pleased about at the end of October. I know many of you have visited, and I thank you for that. But here's a fact that some of you may not know. Since I opened 6 years ago, nearly 30,000 people have come through the front door, a little storefront on James North, which is tremendously pleasing. They've come in to learn about their city. They've come in to share their knowledge of and their love for their city, the city of Hamilton. And like them, as many of you know, I love Hamilton. And I don't use the word lightly. I grew up here. I came back here after being away for a bit in terms of my career. And I am a fully engaged citizen here in Hamilton. Okay, which is why I'm happy to show my support for Brian McHattie. I will tell you, by the way, we're up here. The only thing that we were asked to do was, might we agree to speak? We were given no instructions about what to say, or even if we were to mention Brian. So whenever you hear from friends here, I haven't heard it. You're going to hear it at the same time the rest of us do, which I think is terrific. I have watched Brian's performance very closely at council for the past number of years. Perhaps like some of you, I'm no longer embarrassed to say I watch council meetings. I even attend council meetings. And as some of you know, I have a little daily poster thing that I do, which I enjoy doing. I like the way Brian thinks. I like what he stands for. I like his ability to play with others and still keep his principles intact, which for some, it seems mysterious that he's able to do that. I believe Brian is, without a doubt, the very best chance we have to bring a progressive agenda to City Hall as our mayor in 2014. Brian has my respect, he has my trust, and as you might expect, he has my vote. So I want to thank Brian for choosing to run for mayor. Brian, we need you, so thank you.
Well said, Graham, and this is what I look like. And for those of you who don't know me, my name is Jeff Beswick, and also try to stay fairly engaged in the city. However, politically is one area that I don't normally get engaged, and I do that purposely. However, I have known Brian for a little while. I happen to live, work, and mostly play in Ward 1, I'm sorry. Ward 2 is a little bit outside of my area, but barely. It amazes me that Brian knows me. I've never gone to introduce myself to him, but at one point he asked me to speak for a heritage symposium, and I was honored to do so. I got to know him a little bit better during that time frame. I realized his love for the city, his desire and love to maintain and hold on to our heritage, what I call landscape. And it's something that some people are more than willing to throw away, and I find it extremely important. The things that I do involve myself on a daily basis, I'm not up here trying to help a new friend become mayor. As the poster tells you, I own a company called Historic Building Restoration. I own a partnership with a gentleman named Dave Premi with Traguna Holdings and Seaworks Urban Offices over on Catherine Street. A very urban idea. I also own Treble Hall, the Pagoda Lounge, and most recently the Moulin Rouge Cafe, Boutique, and Bar. Love it if anyone came over and saw that little plug. I also hear a baby crying. I also hear a little baby crying. I think that's the baby. That must be Louise. And I think Louise got to be kissed at some point tonight. But I'm glad everyone is here tonight to support Brian. As I said before, I very much admire him. I believe he will do a fantastic job for all of us. I was actually born and raised in Ancaster, raised my children in Dundas. The rest of my adult life I've lived in the core of Hamilton. And so I understand that it's not just downtown that's important, it's the suburbs, it's everything else that's important. I think Brian brings that with him. He understands that as well. You know, I'm all about the core, but I understand there's a lot more to Hamilton than just the core. And we've got to make that unity, it's an important thing. And so, just one hoo-hoo for Brian, and I hope he does a very good job. There you go.
Brian got me up here. This is great. Thanks, Brian, wherever you are. But my name is Jim Steep. I've been in Hamilton my whole life. I was born here, raised in West Hamilton. I have a very large family of 9, and you can imagine what that would be like. I got the wall. I live in Westdale, and I'm very proud, very, very proud to be here tonight to help Brian, and very proud to be a Hamiltonian, I tell you right now. We have some of the best community people in Canada, I tell you that right now. I've been involved with other charities, and when you figure the cost to raise $1 for charity, Hamilton came first in the whole country. 16 cents in juvenile diabetes a number of years ago to make $1. we blew everybody out of the water, and it's you guys right here. You people right here represent Hamilton, and we know how to make it work, and we can make it work for Brian. I just want you to say, I'm proud to be here. I'm proud to be Brian's friend, and I want to see us push him into mayorship and take our city to a whole new level. Thank you very much.
Good evening, everyone. This is my giant face. Thank you, Graham, for flowing up there. Just what a woman might be. So my name's Louise Pickett. I was born in Hamilton, but actually didn't grow up here. We moved to Oakville when I was 3. But I have very long and strong family roots here, and I was thrilled to be able to move back to the place that's always been my home in my heart about 15 years ago. So I've been living in Westdale for the last 15 years. I'm involved in a couple of initiatives in Churchill Park in Westdale, restoring the teaching gardens. We added a labyrinth there this year, opening up the former lawn bowling clubhouse there, and organizing community events. Those are some of the community things I've been involved in. I do what I do because I believe in the power of public spaces to bring a community together, to connect and inspire, to share knowledge, food, support, to build a healthy and resilient community. So Britain wasn't quite right. We were actually told what to say. We were asked to say who we were, what we did, and why we did it. And that was all. We weren't asked to stump for Brian. Just, you did it. Who are we, what we do, why we do it. But okay, don't start the music, because I have to say a few words about how I do what I do. And I'm able to do what I do because Brian McHattie has been such a responsive counselor. He has welcomed my ideas, supported my vision, and he's made it happen by building positive relationships with city staff who have supported us enthusiastically. And I know that a lot of their enthusiastic support is due to their respect for Brian. None of it, frankly, none of what's happened in our community, in our park, would have happened without his help. So who am I? Well, I'm no one special. I'm just one person who wanted to do whatever she could do to make her little part of Hamilton a better place. Brian doesn't know this, I've never told him this, but Brian has changed me. He has changed me. By listening, by building bridges between the city and the community, he has enabled me. He made me feel like I had the power to make positive changes in my community. It's going to be really hard to lose him as our counselor. But as much as I love my neighborhood, I love my city now. And my greatest hope now is that people like me across the city have the opportunity to feel as empowered and enabled in their communities as I do. Thanks.
People who know me might expect a bicycle on here. Car would like to be specific, but Graham didn't put one on. I'm Abram Bergen. I'm the founder and president of the Hammer Active Alternative Transportation, or THACO for short, because it's a mouthful. What we do is we transport goods between local businesses using bikes, trailers, and trikes, and we do up to 500 pounds. I came to Canada in '86 and right to Hamilton, and so I went to high school here. time there. And about 7 years at McMaster, I believe it was. And then school and work took me elsewhere for a while. For about 7 years, I was elsewhere. And like writing a difficult essay or a narrative, sometimes it's good to step away a little bit and then approach it with new eyes. So when I came back to Hamilton 4 years ago, that's what happened. I saw Hamilton in a different way. I still saw the problems. I still saw the needs, but I also saw a lot of potential that I didn't see before. So that's why I decided to found the company to make the difference that I saw needed to be made. And it really helps to have someone like Brian who understands, who has a progressive viewpoint, knows what needs to be done, and is supportive. Thank you.
My name is Paul Dustin. The organizers asked me to be brief. I said, sure. And they believed me. Brian, you didn't do your job. I would have meetings with Brian, and he'd say, Paul, I have to go to cancel meeting. And I'd say, okay, let's go. Some of you may know me as a librarian. Some of you may know me as a family where President of Stelco Union, Vice President of Stelco Union came from. You might know me through my sister Denise. I want you to know me as the editor of Hamilton Arts and Letters magazine, a magazine I founded with my wife Fiona Kinsella. Whose work you may have seen at the Art Gallery of Hamilton? Sorry. Fiona and I make a magazine, and I want to tell you about a few pages of the magazine. John Terpstra is a great Hamilton writer. A Governor General's Award nominee. Some time ago, John was suffering, afflicted by complications around dementia. John had to move his mother out of the house into a residence. John had to confront his past, remember it, look at all the things around that house. Think about what was going on, and he said, because he's a writer, I have to write. And we said, yeah, John, you've got to write. And he wrote the most beautiful essay. And we published it. And then his mom passed away. Sorry. And he said, I've got to write. And we said, John, you've got to write. We published that essay, and he said, I'm not done. We said, you're not done, John. And we published that one. Those 3 essays have been picked up by Gasbro Press on the East Coast as a book. And so they're going to publish that book, and it's John looking at the alleys of Hamilton, looking at the houses of Hamilton, looking at where his mom came from, the way we all interact together. It's published on the East Coast, it's going to be read in Hamilton, it's going to be read across the country. Now somebody might say, John, you've got a book out, come on in, we'll have a photograph, eh? But somebody else might say, what had to be in place to make all that happen? And Brian McHattie is a person who understands what has to be in place to make all that happen.